Is anyone there? Where is everybody? If only I could find R2, then all my worries would be over. He's probably gone wandering off somewhere, and that only leads to trouble. Oh. Well, perhaps he can help. Excuse me, but have you seen my friend R2-D2? We arranged to meet on this planet, and I think he might have got lost again. He has no concentration, you know. Hello? Hello? I don't think you understand a word I say. Do you understand what I'm saying? Must be an old model, I suppose. Oh, if only I could find R2. Swap. Shop. Oh, that sounds different. I wonder what's going on. Oh, well. R2. R2-D2, where are you? Won't anyone speak to me? Must be a power phase on this planet, I suppose. Oh, a human. Well, perhaps you can help.
Well,
excuse me, sir. I wonder if you can assist me.
Well,
I'm looking for my counterpart, R2-D2.
R2-D2? What does he look like?
He's a rather small, round robot with a lot of flashing lights, and he makes loud bleeping noises.
No, I haven't seen him, but you look familiar.
Well, it is quite possible. Actually, I have appeared in 2 rather famous films.
That's it. I thought I'd seen you. You're
C-3PO, human-cyborg relations. Yes, that's right. And aren't you Noel Edmonds?
Yes.
Oh, I've always wanted to meet you. You're terribly well known in the Granicus galaxy, you know.
Am I? Oh, that's absolutely marvellous.
Not R2-D2. I've been trying to find him all morning.
No. We've got a friend of yours coming in, Anthony Daniels from Star Wars. He's a marvellous chap.
Mr. Daniels?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I know him very well. Almost as well as I know myself, you might say. What a talented young man. Oh, I shall look forward to seeing him again. What time will he be here?
He's coming in about half an hour.
Oh, splendid. I shan't miss that. In the meantime, I must continue my search for R2-D2. Excuse me. Where can he have gone? Probably on another planet. Stupid bucket.
I'm sure he's not supposed to call him a bucket. We'll have a chance to meet him later on in the programme. I definitely realised that C-3PO has a man inside him.
Yeah, a very cross man at times, like in that desert. I mean, the sand was getting places you couldn't imagine.
Anthony Daniels, good morning.
Good morning.
There can't be one in R2-D2. I mean, he's a...
No, sometimes there's a very little man called Kenny Baker inside, but in those shots, for instance, it's worked by very cleverly by remote control. There are 2 people with lever things like you have for model power boats or aeroplanes, you know, and they make him work. And in those days, that was the first film, remember, he used to go crashing off, he used to fall over in the sand, he used to stop, and I think that's really where my relationship, or 3PO's relationship with R2 really started, because he was such a menace that I used to get cross with him anyway. And then, you know, throughout the films now, there's always this relationship where I'm always kicking him for being stupid.
How did you feel when they first came on to you with the idea of playing a mechanical man?
Well, I wasn't too keen on it.
I mean, some actors might have considered it sort of almost as an insult.
Well, this one did, actually, yes. But then I went to meet George Lucas, who's really nice, and we just talked, and I suddenly thought, this is really interesting, and I do normal acting all the rest of the time, so why not do this? And it was an 11-week job, so 11 weeks out of your life isn't that much. And then, of course, months later, it all took off, and it hasn't stopped since then. But I do other things, of course.
Am I right in saying that you did, in fact, establish the character? It wasn't originally seen as quite the sort of dotty,
It was sort of seen exactly the opposite way, in fact, because...
Tell us what was the original concept.
Well, the idea, really, because it's an American film, they were all going to be Americans in the film, because that's the way we all think, you know? And the original idea was that he was going to be a rather sort of, a bit creepy and from New York, really, so he had this heavy American accent, and he was a little sleazy. Well, I couldn't possibly play anyone like that.
Of course not.
He said, whatever. And so I did the only thing I can do, which, well, I read the script and I thought it would be quite fun to play it this way. And, you know, he has got this little person around that he can hit. You see, 3PO is a real coward and a real bully, I'm afraid. He's really nice, but he has all these social problems. And he takes it out on R2. I mean, adults do this all the time. And 3PO is allowed to do things that adults would get into a lot of trouble.
What about the movements? Did the movements become dictated by, you know, sort of...
Well, partly,
I
I've got a bit of the costume here, which is...
Can you show us how that works? 'Cause it's...
Well, this is the arm. And it's interesting. Here we have what we call a greebly. Now, the definition of a greebly is a word we made up, actually. It's something that looks as though it does something, but in fact doesn't. So when I'm wearing this and my hand is here, this looks like a piston that works the arm. In fact, it's the other way. It's the arm that works the piston. Do you get it?
Yes.
Is this too technical for you?
No, I'm following
no,
this
I mean,
bit.
I'm sure everyone at home is understanding, but I know you have problems. And the same on the other side. You see there's another greebly there which opens up. And this is, in fact, made of aluminium. And they're all made by hand. The whole costume is actually worth about 150,000 pounds.
Really?
Yes. That's why they don't let me take it home too often. And it's gold colour, it's not actual gold. And that has to be redone. And in the film, in fact, you never see it as shiny as this unless it's the last scene, because on the camera now, you can see how it's shining. And also, if you look very carefully, like in the chest, you can see the camera and the camera crew and the tea lady, you see. So we don't want too much of that in Star Wars, because there's not meant to be tea ladies on these planets we go to.
Indeed.
Now, you asked about the movements.
I thought we'd get round to that eventually.
Well, some of it's dictated by the costume, but in fact I can walk normally. If you saw me trudging around the studio, bumping into things, you can tell I can't actually see very much, but I can actually walk normally. It doesn't look very funny, though.
You've been quite a star, haven't you? I mean, you've conducted, the London Symphony Orchestra.
Well, he's been quite a star, yeah, well, he's an amazing star. Doesn't always come near me. He's conducted the orchestra at the Albert Hall, and he conducted the Boston Pops in Boston. He does all sorts of, been on the Osmond Show, put his feet outside the Chinese Theatre in Hollywood, all sorts of things.
Do you ever feel bitter because, I mean, he's the big star, recognised.
What's the nice answer to this? Is it a nice answer?
And you, I mean, you've been thrown out of somewhere.
Oh, I'm always being thrown out. You know, I can go somewhere as the guest of honour. Yeah.
He's been thrown out of here 3
times. Of the honour, and they say, "Well, where's your ticket money?" You know, and I said, "But well, prove it. I have no way of in my passport now. If you go to America, they actually try and stop you going in quite often if you haven't got a job. And now I have a picture of 3PO under my picture because they look at it and say, "What's this in here?" I said, "Well, I play." Oh my God. Sorry. And that really makes a difference. So I'm thinking of always carrying his picture around.
Will it ever come to this point, do you think, where you wear the costume full time because you get more work that way?
Who is this man? No, never.